Anyone who's done a CEO before has probably heard of the 3 cakes and a lure for the first level 12 version 2.0 cog in the gallery round. This is pretty much overkill, but it's not a bad strategy for the cog. I'd recommend avoiding this one unless it's a 1 fire CEO or you did a great job feeding the cogs in a 2 fire CEO. Otherwise, this combination is a little too much unless you restock throw or all the gags. 3 cakes used on 1 cog may not be as good as 1 cake with 1 fruit pie on 3 separate cogs. First, the reason why 3 cakes and a lure takes out a level 12 version 2.0 is because the lure will apply 50% boost, which will come into play. The first cake will deal 100 damage out of the 200, the next will finish off the cog with a total of 200 HP, which is perfect, and the third cake does another 100 damage to the second layer. Since we need to find out the bonus damage, we'll do 300 because that's the total amount of the cakes we use. We use 3 cakes, each one does 100 damage, so 300 times 0.7, which will add up to 210. The second layer only had 100 hit points left, so we did more than double than what we needed to. So this gets me to my next point. 400 HP is far less than the 510 we actually did. So a better strategy, in my opinion, for level 12 version 2.0s are the following. 1 lure, 2 cakes, and a safe, or 3 clouds and a piano, or 1 hose and 2 pianos. I feel that all these are better for combinations than the lure and 3 cakes because they do the same thing and preserve your cakes. To explain how this one works is pretty easy. 1 lure gets applied, that's simple. The first 2 cakes finish off the first layer and allow the 70% to go to the second layer. 70% of 200 is 140. 200 minus 140 is 60, which is the perfect amount for a safe to finish it off. For the next strategy is 3 clouds and 1 piano. So the first 2 clouds do 160 damage, which is not enough. So the third cloud finishes off the cog and does 240 damage, which only does 200 to the first layer. Now what this means is, since it killed it, and there's still yellow damage to be done, that means there's 20% of 240 applied to the second layer, which is 48 damage. So 200 minus 48 is now, well, 152. A piano does 170, so if the piano is used after this, it will finish off both layers. The first hose does 30 damage, leaving the cog with 170 HP left. A piano happens to do this exact damage, meaning that the cog is considered dead and will reveal the second layer even though the pianos hit at pretty much the same time. The second piano will actually affect the second layer since you used 2 drops. The 340 total piano damage gets the 20% boost. This adds up to 68 yellow damage, which is more than the 30 damage required to finish off the second layer. I would only recommend those last 2 options in the gallery round on the first level 12 that appears there. This is because you can have all 4 toons attacking at the same time and not have to worry about new cogs to lure in. For the first method, the 1 lure and 3 clouds. The 1 lure and 3 clouds does 160 to the first layer, which exceeds the 156 needed. The third cloud adds 80 more damage, and not to mention the total number of squirts used together combined is 240. So we get 240 times 0.7 plus the 80 damage, which is 168 plus the 80 cloud damage, which this totally demolishes the level 11 version 2.0. The 1 lure, 1 cream, and 2 cakes does 240 damage before destroying the first layer. So it seems like it wouldn't do that much because the first cream does 40, the first cake does 140, and you still are you're wasting like 90 points, right? Well, it doesn't matter because this means that all you have to do is 240 times 0.7 because that's all the lure and the same type attack bonus does. So this high number times 70% means that you are doing 168 damage, which exceeds the 156 required. This next part is probably the most difficult to understand, and it took me a while to realize why you actually use the 1 fog rule. So this next part deals with sound combinations and why they're a little bit weird. The 1 fog rule in the CEO is the best strategy for it because it coincides with the cog's HP so well. It also uses carryover for level 11s. The 1 fog rule is the 1 foghorn and 2 to 3 trunks, and occasionally a cake or a piano for the level 12s. This method is only useful for CEOs because there are better methods for back 9s. the CEOs feel continuous. Never, ever, ever use the one fog rule in booleans. Please do not use it there. It's primarily used in the CEOs for the following reasons, and I'll get to that soon. Never use it in the boolean mint. People will accuse you of training tune-up and sound because it wastes a lot of time. That's their excuse to get that training in. Don't use it there. We all know that 3 trunks and 1 foghorn kills a row of level 10s, which is a common sight in the first round. 2 trunks and 1 fog kills a row of level 9s, and the 4th person can use a cake or a piano on a single level 11 or 12. Never use 2 foghorns unless you or someone in the group is going to restock, or you know that you'll be out of fogs, so there's no point in saving it. 1 fog and 3 trunks will only do 136 damage. This will leave a level 11 at 20 HP left. So, if a row of level 11s are affected by the 1 fog rule, they'll all be in the red and have time to retaliate. This is why most people use 2 foghorns, and they'll use a total of 4 for both layers. Don't worry about getting hit once or twice. In the CEO, get used to being attacked frequently. Now obviously using this rule when everyone in the team is at 30 HP is not a good idea because you might die or lose your life. So don't do this. But using the 1 fog rule when a level 11 has 20 HP left will actually apply carryover to the next layer. It will finish off the first layer with the first trunk. Since sound can apply carryover, we do the rest of the damage. This means that 2 trunks, 1 foghorn, plus the yellow damage will be applied to the second layer. And the cog won't be able to retaliate this turn, because once you finish off version 2.0, the Skelecog takes 1 turn to, recharge. This does a total of 115 damage to the second layer, because 42 damage plus the 50 foghorn plus all the yellow damage, which is 113 total times 0.2, or 23 damage, gets added. So 23 plus 50 plus 42 on the second layer is 115. So 156, which is the total amount of HP that a level 11 has, minus 115 is 41 HP, which means the level 11 only needs 41 damage until the second layer is finished, and you have a turn to attack this time. That means 1 Auga and 1 trunk, or 3 Augas, will kill the cog. Using this logic, we saved 2 foghorns for a simple sacrifice of 1 turn of damage and a couple of level 4 gags. This is by far the most effective method because you're killing double the cogs with the same amount of sound gags. There's only one more combination I wanted to go over. In the gallery round, it is likely that somebody will restock sound, which is almost a necessity in a 3, 4, or 5 fire CEO. In a 3 fire CEO, corporate raiders will be the primary cog being fought. If you accidentally use 3 fogs and 1 Auga instead of 2 fogs with 2 Augas, you're actually in luck. The Auga will go first, dealing 16 damage, and then 3 foghorns will do 150 damage, which surpasses the 156 needed because you did 166. This means that the 20% of the 166 damage actually gets applied to the second layer. 20% of 166 is 34. So, using this knowledge we've learned, 156 minus 34 is 122 HP left on the next layer. So, the cog actually has 122. You did more. This is enough for 1 fog and 3 trunks, so you're still using a total of 4 foghorns anyways. Now that you know all of these combinations, and you know the basics to applying carryover, and a few advanced tricks to carryover, I'd say you're totally prepared to fight version 2.0 cogs. Thank you so much for watching both parts. I really hope this helps, because if it helps you, maybe someday it'll help me too. Hope you guys have learned something new. I'm Wazzup, and I'm out.